Hello, thank you for choosing to view today's session, Embedding AFL Effectively into Your Whole School Curriculum. My name is Stephanie Pearce and I am the School Curriculum Specialist here at the AFL and I'm part of the National Schools Division. This session is the first in a series of 3 to provide teachers with an understanding of how the Australian Football League, the AFL, can be effectively incorporated into your whole school program. These videos have been developed to provide you with 3 opportunities for engagement across some of the following topics: the curriculum, theory and pedagogy, teacher resources, assessment tools and engaging with the AFL. Our recommendation is that you view all 3 sessions in chronological order. However, we understand that teachers may prioritise these sessions based on personal developmental needs and requirements. I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land from which we are recording today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I would also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from where you are tuning in and further extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people tuning in. The learning intention and purpose of today's session is to learn how Australian Football League, the AFL, can be effectively incorporated into your whole school program by focusing on the theory, the pedagogy and by exploring the links to the Australian curriculum. By engaging in this session today, you will be able to effectively link the AFL into the Australian curriculum, learn about the theoretical underpinnings, and build an understanding of effective pedagogical practices that will enhance the delivery of your school's health and PE programs. Session 2 will be resources, lesson plans, and modules of work. By viewing sessions 2 and 3, you will gain insight into our new resources, assessment, and other support tools. In session 2, you will learn about the practical or on-field resources, introducing effective teaching and coaching tips, and learn more about the in-classroom resources. In session 3, you will learn about the assessment tools and techniques that we have adopted, including formative and self-assessment tools. You'll be able to plan for an AFL-delivered incursion in your school. You will become an AFL school member and encourage student participation in AFL outside of school. The AFL recognises that teachers, specifically health and physical education staff, face some challenges, and in these sessions we hope to address some of these concerns. According to a survey conducted by the Australian Council for Health, Physical Education and Recreation, ACHPA, HPE teachers identified their greatest challenges. Some areas that rated high were student engagement, health PE not being seen as valued, access to teacher resources, and adequate planning time and curriculum planning. In this series, we will be addressing some of these challenges. We hope to present some ideas to support you to plan effectively and showcase our new resources to alleviate some of the planning pressures and ultimately support you in your school settings. So, why choose the AFL? It is more than the game. Let's have a look at what some of our AFL stars have to say.
I think we all know that AFL is a really special game, and I've seen a growth in numbers of participation from not just the boys but the girls as well. It's a really inclusive sport, and I think the beauty of it is that no matter your size, height, weight, stature, anybody can play the game, and there's a role for everybody.
We intend to provide you with a greater understanding of the theory and the delivery, the practical, through both explicit teaching about our sport and the possible applications across the curriculum. The lessons and instructional models that have been included have been designed using the practice principles for excellence in teaching and learning. It is drawn from the current evidence-based works such as the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers, Framework for Improving Student Outcomes, FISO, New Pedagogies for Deep Learning Community of Practice and other initiatives. For further information, please refer to the practice principles. Our practical approaches incorporate coaching, professional learning and Auskick curriculum. So, what is the AFL? AFL stands for Australian Football League, and the sport is commonly referred to as footy or Aussie rules. AFL has been played for over 150 years and has been influenced by Indigenous games. The game itself, it's played over 4 separate quarters of approximately 20 minutes each. The game is fast-paced, with plenty of high scoring and action. The game is played between 2 different teams and the objective is simple: kick the football between the 2 tall inner posts, the goal posts, to kick a goal and score 6 points for your team. If you kick the ball between the goal post and either of the shorter outer posts, the behind posts, a behind is scored, which is worth 1 point. At the end of the game, the team with the highest score wins. The game is played with a unique ball that is oval-shaped, resulting in a high degree of unpredictability around which way the ball will bounce. The game is played on a large grass oval or field, commonly referred to as a ground. At the elite level, there are 18 players on the ground from each team at one time, 36 in total. Generally, a team is evenly split between forwards, midfielders and defenders, and across all positions, players range in height and weight in line with the requirements of each position. AFL matches are a great way to round out all of the skills learnt during your sessions. AFL matches encompass the key developmental challenges to assist in the participants' skill development. Matches are also a great way to foster overall participant growth through the following: teamwork, confidence, resilience, and critical thinking. Across all AFL programs, matches are adjusted to suit the developmental stage of the participants involved. There are 3 components that need consideration: positioning, communication, and decision making. The AFL have an online platform for umpire education, the Introductory Umpire course. In addition, Coach AFL membership can be accessed by teachers and offers you the opportunity to become upskilled in how to play the game and how to implement it effectively using effective coaching practices. These self-paced and engaging modules include an extensive library of articles, videos, downloadable PDFs and activities that can be adapted to your school setting. The AFL recognise that to provide a holistic teaching and learning program that we need to focus on what we are going to teach. In this case, the content. What is the content? Well, we can teach the on-field components, which is the practical parts of the game, including the skills, gameplay, etc. And all of our new resources are linked to the Australian curriculum, Victorian or New South Wales curriculum. Who? Informed by educational authorities nationally or state-based across all sectors, other influences include ACARA, the VCAA, New South Wales Department of Education, the Victorian Department of Education, and so on. We also need to focus on the how, which is the practical application of this. So, how do we deliver the information effectively? Hence a focus on pedagogy. The why is to assess. We need to assess student performance and measure growth. This supports the mandated reporting requirements. The Australian Curriculum Assessment and Reporting Authority, ACARA, highlights the aims of health and physical education, Foundation to Year 10, and the benefits. To provide ongoing, developmentally appropriate and explicit learning about health and movement. Just drawing on a couple of points. The bigger picture for ensuring that your health and PE program is a quality one is to provide students with opportunities for enjoying and engaging in movement-based learning experiences. A large part of your program should aim to support students to acquire and apply and evaluate movement skills, the concepts and strategies to respond confidently and competently in a variety of physical activity contexts and settings. We have developed resources that support the delivery of lessons that will ensure that students can practice, as there is an inclusion of multiple examples of game-based activities and instructional videos that explicitly prescribe and model skills. Create through the provision of open-ended tasks, guided play sessions and game sense approaches. Apply and evaluate through the provision of self-assessment tools, questioning techniques, teacher rubrics for feedback and reflection, all contributing to the student's ability to build understanding and develop or refine skills. We recognise that incorporating AFL lessons into your health and PE program will support this, and we have actively sought to design our new resources to promote these ideals. As referred to previously, the prime responsibility of the HPE curriculum is to describe progression and development. Let's look at this in terms of a continuum of learning. This graphic from the Victorian Curriculum and Assessment Authority demonstrates the progression of learning for PE. When considered as a continuum of learning, it helps to understand what needs to be taught and what growth might look like. It shows the increasing levels of complexity. This is important to understand, the planning and delivery of content to ensure that teachers are catering to students' diverse needs. It supports differentiation. Further to this continuum complements the use of assessment rubrics, particularly when used in a formative way, which we address in video 3 in the series. As mentioned, our teaching methodology includes techniques derived from the AFL Junior Coaching Curriculum. Other in-classroom units draw on other evidence-based practices that we will address shortly. As an example, some well-established teaching techniques that have a physical education application include the following. Teach. Teachers should explicitly teach the skills. Demonstration. Communicate key components of the skill to be taught. Practice time. Provide ample opportunities to practice. Repeated practice will be necessary for a student to master a skill. Provide feedback. Linked to the success criteria, feedback should describe student performance. It can be instructional to support growth and improve performance. Keywords. Highlighting key vocabulary is important. For example, link the word step to the action of stepping forward during an overhand throw. By hearing or saying the word step, the student is reminded to step correctly when throwing. And finally, purposeful instruction. Be brief, be clear, keep focus on the purpose of the lesson. Refer to the learning intentions and success criteria throughout the lesson. Let's talk about differentiation. Included in our lessons is the Change It Up approach. This guide has been developed in partnership with the Australian Sports Commission's Active After School Communities, the AASC program, and the Schools Network. The guide is designed to help coaches and teachers deliver fun and safe and engaging sport-related games that maximise participation and include and challenge all players, regardless of their ability level or background. It includes a simple guide on how to apply Change It principles when assessing a game or activity. This is some of the advice of how you might differentiate your activities when delivering AFL. C is for coaching. Adapt your coaching method and communication. Consider your own teaching style. Vary questions. Vary the language and ways of communicating with your students. H is for how to score and win. Adjust the way to score or add or remove challenges. Be inventive with different ways that students can score or win. A is for area. Make it smaller or larger. Change the size or shape of your playing area. N is for numbers. Less or more, or team imbalance. Adapt team sizes and positions. G is for game rules. How players could move, pass and defend. Get creative with rules. Encouraging your students to help develop these can also be a lot of fun. E is for equipment. Different balls, more balls, less, alternative equipment, and give options. I is for inclusion. How do we include everyone? Modify to include all learners and abilities, and give options and ask students for their input. And finally, T is for time. Add pressure through reduced time, increase or decrease time for games, activities, drills, or reflections. For more information about this, you can visit www.aussport.gov.au. Here are some of the key teaching tips for consideration in health and physical education from the Manual for Teachers about the teaching of the fundamental motor skills. Some of which were mentioned earlier include the need to demonstrate, practice, provide feedback, purposeful instruction. We also would like you to think about the structure of your lesson for maximum participation. Consider small group sizes. Provide lots of equipment where possible. Avoid long wait times and queues. Give as many students the ability to be on task as possible. Allow students to achieve success. Create learning intentions and success criteria so students know how to gain success. And of course, understand your students. Provide opportunities for students to participate in free play at the beginning of the session. Be clear about how students should follow instructions. For example, a whistle means stop. In our practical units, we have included exploration and free play at the start of the session for this very reason. Many children thrive when given the opportunity to play freely, and it is widely considered fundamental for creativity, imagination, and making sense of the world in which they live. Exploration, free play and guided delivery will provide students with an opportunity to explore and develop their skills, and being able to play and get their hands on a ball to play and explore before explicit teaching begins. In addition, it gives the students the chance to be better informed about their current skills and ability, supporting the use of the self-assessment tools for the use of pre-assessment purposes. Today we are focused on two aspects, theory and practice. Our first session centres on what the research says is important for the effective delivery of the health and physical education curriculum. We will share some of our new resources, provide you with an understanding of how and what has been developed, our assessment tools and product offerings in videos 2 and 3.